Okay. Welcome, Kailee. This is your intro to the team call. Um, we're so excited to have you join Vida, and this is a brand new role, the Learning and Development Manager. Is that the right wording?
Yes.
And you felt this, and we felt it too, that the role just felt like it was perfectly designed for you, and the universe brought you to us.
Yes, that's honestly exactly how I felt. Yes.
So can you give us like kind of super brief history of Kailee, where you're from, what your career has been so far, and sort of what led you to this point?
Sure. Yeah. I'm from Saskatchewan, and I feel like I'm one of those people that is always like, well, I'm from Saskatchewan, so blah blah blah. Like it just comes up for me so much. I would say that I'm like proud of being from Saskatchewan because I am, but I would never live there again. So it's like I don't know if that's proud, but it is what it is. I love Saskatchewan just for a visit though, in the summertime only.
I feel you. My husband is from there, and I visited one time, and I had the same feeling, like I'm really glad I came here. Like I want to know where he's from and all this, but I was like, I don't know how excited I'll be to come to this location when given the choice for a future vacation, you know?
Yeah, no. And that's the thing too, like when 1 week of your vacation in the year is like always in Saskatchewan, it gets a little old.
Mm.
But I still have lots of friends there and do enjoy visiting. So I moved from Saskatchewan to London, Ontario. Well, I lived in Australia for a while as well, and I lived in Jasper, Alberta for 2 years right after high school. I'm kind of a mover. So I taught snowboarding in Jasper for a couple of years. And then I was a teacher in Saskatoon for a year and then decided to do my master's in English. So I moved to London, Ontario to do my master's in English. And then I ended up staying there for 5 years. Also didn't love London. It's not the nicest city. So stayed there because I met a lot of great friends in grad school and kind of just stayed there longer than I thought I was going to stay. And then decided to move to Halifax kind of just on a whim, honestly.
Oh.
I started applying for jobs while I was at a job, kind of similar to getting this job. Like I had a job that I liked just fine, but I was applying for jobs that I thought were like very cool, essentially. So I got this job that I'm currently in. Well, I guess not anymore. And basically my main role is working on This Hour's 22 Minutes. So I do all the social media and like
Oh.
anything online for 22 minutes is me. And it's been fun, but it's one of those jobs where like it just didn't really, it stayed the same the whole time. And once I got really good at it, I got pretty bored. And so
Yeah.
just ready to move on.
Well, there's just no boredom with Vida because our goal is to get to 10,000 units by 2027. So it's basically like to the moon. And because we're such a small team, kind of a lot of the time it's just sort of all hands on deck, whatever comes up, let's go.
I love that.
But you said This Hour has 22 minutes. Like, I don't know if Ron mentioned Sean Majumder's a close friend of his. Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
he did. Yeah.
he's partnered on deals before with us, and they ran a company together and stuff like that. But yes, so This Hour has a special place with us too. Yeah. What about your I guess no, hold on. I still want to go back to one more thing. Halifax, like what drew you to Halifax? Did you just decide like, oh, that's the city I want, so I'm going to look at jobs there? Was there any draw? Like, were you interested in somebody who lived in Halifax?
Yeah. My partner is from Middle Muscatawbit.
Okay.
So his family lives in outside Truro. And I really like his family. And so we were like, let's go to Halifax. He was like not that overly interested. I basically said, do you want to go to BC or do you want to go to Nova Scotia? And we were like, well, we can afford a house in Nova Scotia and we can't afford a house in BC. And so that kind of was also the other deciding factor.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So is your family all still in Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
Oh yeah, I have a brother, but he is in Belleville, Ontario. He is also a mover. He he has also lived in Australia and in Whistler, and he kind of just like copies. He's 5 years younger, and he kind of just like copies all of my life moves and does the same thing like 5 years later.
So what kind of work does he do? Because maybe he'll come work for Vida.
He's in school. He's going back to school. He did a marketing diploma in Australia, but then right when he finished, the pandemic happened and basically everyone lost their jobs. And so he's like, nobody's going to hire anybody with no experience, right? And so he's in school now to be a engineering technologist, architectural technologist, something to do with like drawing up drafts, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can hire him for that someday.
Maybe we're gonna need some drafting done. It's possible. What about so you said kind of, I'm just thinking of what things like for fun. You said I imagine if you were a snowboarding coach, you love that. And I remember getting a little piece of intel that you were a Paralympic coach. What sport was it that you were coaching?
Yeah, I basically just really love playing sports. So right now I'm on a hockey team, a co-ed hockey team. I play softball in the summer as well. I have a softball team. I play in a ladies golf league. And I also play tennis with my partner. But I coached Special Olympics softball the last year that I was in London, which was really fun. I also coached golf and volleyball when I was a high school teacher. Basically, if I can like be on a team or playing a thing, I just always want to be doing it.
I love that. Do you play with like the Halifax Sport and Social Club, or is it a different?
Yeah, that's the softball team is through there.
Yeah, that's where I play. I played soccer for a long time, indoor and outdoor, and softball with them too.
Yeah, I love it.
What was our team? Our team was called We Got the Runs.
Nice.
What about, I know you also have a pup. Can you tell us your dog's name? He was supposed to be on this video. I haven't seen him yet, but oh, there he is. So what kind of dog? Where is the dog from London or is it from Halifax?
So I actually have two dogs. The other one is just not new, so she wasn't, and I can't hold her on my lap, so she wasn't included in the initial video. My first dog is 10, and I got her in Saskatchewan when she was 1, so I've had her for 9 years. And she's a big mutt. She's like 80-pound mutt. And then this is Bubba. We got him at the end of January, and he's from Kentucky. And so it was this rescue that they like ship dogs from the States that are probably going to be euthanized. In these shelters, they kind of put a note on the dogs that are very friendly and shouldn't be euthanized. And then there's a couple of places in Halifax now that basically like ship like 30 dogs at a time. So he's one of those. Yeah. And he's been here for like a month and a half, and he's just like the sweetest, most cuddly, like you would never guess. He was definitely on the streets because he's got some like big scars on his forehead, and one of his ears is missing the tip, and one of his toes is like bent out of place. Like he's had a time. Oh yeah, he's missing one of his front canine teeth. It's like hacked off. But he's just like only wants to cuddle, only wants to be in the same room as me, and is like the happiest dog in the world. It's
So nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for anybody who's watching who didn't know what we were talking about having intel, is that Kaylee's application video had her puppy on camera with her. So I think that was a bit of a secret weapon. Where do you read your news in the morning?
Oh, that's a good question. Where do I read? Oh, The Bullet. I subscribe to The Bullet, which is like it's like a Canadian news roundup. They send an email every morning, and it's just kind of like jot notes of like things that are happening in the world. And it's just, I'm trying to like step back from social media, and so it's a nice way to just like get all your jot notes, and you can click links if you want to know more, and then just kind of like leave it at that.
Yeah.
But my
I like
parents
that.
are always like so surprised when I like have heard news from Saskatoon. They're like, well, how would you know that? Because they just think like, you don't get the Saskatoon newspaper and you don't watch the CTV news, so how would you know any news from Saskatoon? And it's just like, you guys, it's
I checked the interweb.
yeah.
I just have some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
What is the best kind of holiday or vacation you've ever been on?
Well, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. For sure. Not because of the history of Thanksgiving. We are anti-history of Thanksgiving. But I just love the low pressure of just friends, just family, like no presents, no whatever, just eat and hang out.
Yeah.
And then like vacation. What's my best vacation? I've been on some pretty epic vacations. I took 2 months off with my girlfriends in one of our years of undergrad, and we went to Thailand and Vietnam and Laos, which just seems so decadent to me right now, because like, when can you ever take 2 months off, And we were just like, yeah, we're going for 2 months. And
that's awesome. And everybody got along well?
Well, we're not friends with one of them.
Sometimes things come out when you have that much time in close proximity.
Very much so.
What's your favorite food?
Sushi. I've been eating so much sushi this year with all the like ordering at home.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've also been trying to like support local, and so I've been like purposefully ordering to my home to support those restaurants, and then it's always sushi.
And it's a good justification. You're like, I'm just doing the right thing.
Exactly. Same with buying books. I bought books and records. I bought more books and records in 2020 than I ever have in my life, and it's because I'm like, well, I'm supporting obsolete records and I'm supporting Bookmark. I've got to keep them afloat. Like it justify it.
Yeah. What is something in your life that you're proud of?
I think I'm proud of my friendships the most, because I've moved so much. It takes a lot of work to stay friends with people, and I put a lot of time and effort into doing that.
Love that.
Yeah.
So at Vida, our core values are team driven, servitude and gratitude, and relentless improvement. So which of those three speaks to you the most?
Team driven, relentless improvement, and servitude and gratitude. I really like relentless improvement, because I'm a learner. I love learning, and like I saw that there was an education benefit in the like package, and I was just like, what can I do with that? Like, can I take a class? Should I buy books? Like, I just immediately like started Googling like what I could possibly do for a class or something that would like relate to the job. And it's just that it's just what I want to always be doing, essentially.
Yeah, awesome. So you are, I think, 2 weeks 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a little bit away from your first day at Vida. And so I'm gonna wrap us up for this intro video. I just want to say thank you so much for joining the team. We're super, super excited to have your know-how and your horsepower and your kind of eager to learn attitude. I think this is going to be amazing, and this job is just totally perfect for you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to start.
All right.